We're joined right around Australia, and including that some regional stations like 95 3SR in Shepparton, for instance, Garry. There you are, right there.
Shep.
5SE in Mount Gambier are all over us, as are Heart FM in Hobart. Now, I bring Heart FM Hobart up because they're a very welcome part of this broadcast, of course, and hello to everyone down in that magnificent part of the world. But tomorrow, Garry, we go to Tasmania to broadcast Hawthorn and Fremantle.
Excited about the prospect.
We are enormously excited about it.
You're not, and we need to put things on the table.
I need to read something.
You tell us how
I don't. I think we need to at least explain to our loyal listeners what's happened.
Well, I'm going to read you something. It's how I'm going to do it, Chief. And after that, we can assess.
That's right.
I received, Forsell, at 1:30 p.m. today, a text, and it reads like this. It is with deep regret that I have to fly down to Tassie on my own with Air Colby tomorrow. Now, that is, of course, a private jet piloted by Leigh Colbert, former Geelong and North Melbourne superstar. We leave at 10 a.m. from Moorabbin Airport. We'll be at the ground as per contract at 12 noon. The reason for flying down on my own is that last week, after flying up the back end of the plane from Adelaide with a couple of our so-called team members up the front, I got off the flight from Adelaide with fellow underling Snorkel and Purple, hoping to catch a glimpse or a hello or just something from my teammates up the front, but oh no. What I saw were tumbleweeds and dust as their luxury cars sailed off into the sunset. Not up in word. Regrettably, your mate Spud, have fun on your 8 a.m. flight. Well, so that's what I got at 1:30. So what this means, Garry, is that one of our team is refusing to fly commercial and has made his own arrangements to fly on a private jet so as not to fly with his teammates.
In a nutshell, he's a traitor. And
no, he's not.
I'm talking to you. He's a traitor, and it's a treacherous act of someone who's a part of a Saturday team that's been successful beyond all our imaginations. And success is based on how tight we are.
That's it.
And if he has to travel in economy because Anita's got him by the plums, and that's his fault,
not
ours.
Well, this is something we need to investigate because the only reason he's in economy is because he doesn't want to pay to be upgraded, which the rest of us do.
No, he does. But Anita found his invoice on his desk and said, you ain't flying up there anymore, you're down the back.
So it's a Frawley choice that he's down the back
That's
with.
right.
Not that we're that unhappy about it.
No.
But he's down there for his own doing.
Which is no big deal.
Excuse me.
So he then doesn't turn around and jump on a private jet with Fox Sports finest and burn his own mates.
Yeah.
He has every right to. The way that you blokes have treated him. With contempt and disdain.
Made him who he is.
The animosity and enmity within the group, within the Triple M group.
Picked him up when Richmond turfed him out on his date and just had his ring dragging along the ground.
No, someone has to go into bat for
elevated
Spud,
him again.
And I will, because you're only telling half the story here, Jim.
I'm reading exactly what it says.
And I'll read responding texts from G Line.
Let's not get too
Never in all my days have I seen such a blatant act of treachery. I'm speechless. But rest assured I'll find my voice. Jim Warrior and Snork, I am calling a meeting to be held at breakfast, and I'll be proposing the motion that Frawley be sent a clear and swift message. I will be refusing to do comments with him. And I'm demanding that he be banished the boundary line duties.
That's right.
And Purple sits alongside me. Never been more serious.
That's exactly right.
Look forward to the vote tomorrow morning and informing the traitor of our decision on arrival at the ground. Outrageous.
What's he doing?
Obviously, there was a response from Warrior, to which the following response came, Jim. Warrior, very happy to have you on board, but let's get one thing straight. You'll be running an eye over the stats for me, and that's about it. Spud, get there early. We want you to do a pre-record with the Freo boot stutter.
That's it.
That's what he'll be doing tomorrow.
And, Garry, there hasn't been the necessity for a vote. Because every now and then you don't have to go around the table. Something is that unanimous that it's just passed.
No, there is elitism within the group here. And
what do you think about this?
They're treating Spud poorly.
You're impartial. This is the first you've heard of it.
I know, and the first thing that has actually staggered me is that we are, or you are, or they are responsible for their own airfares in their line of employment. Doesn't someone pay for the airfare?
No, they do. But then, if you want to go up a little bit further,
if you don't want to fly coach,
yes, you can fork out a couple of sheets yourself.
So the contractual arrangements are that we all fly down the back of the plane. This is possibly why I don't fly interstate.
No, that's right.
I've never flown down the back of the plane since 1978.
This isn't about you.
That's not about you.
Exactly what the Spud's working 4 networks. He's got Fox and he's got Air and he's got Triple M and he's got.
So is our action?
Let's hope he's not summons to go to the Olympics.
our action, do you think, reasonable to send him down as a boundary rider tomorrow?
Give
and
him a week
have
off.
Warrior up in the box?
No.
I'm not talking to you.
No, it is
You're
not.
in the box, Warrior.
No, he usually does
Apparently.
the boundary, the Walker, but we want him in the box and we want to send Spud down to the boundary.
Teach him a lesson.
I would be very careful.
Correct.
I would be very careful about this only for one reason.
What?
Because physicalness. Physicalness, I think, is a word, actually,
unlike
as
some,
opposed to physicality, which is not a word.
He doesn't intimidate us. He intimidates Jim a bit, but not.
No, he doesn't.
That's all right. He's just got to cop his medicine, and you wouldn't do that to us. Just abandon us and get on a better craft or a quicker craft.
But you blokes have abandoned him first.
How's that?
How?
Oh, please.
How?
How?
The elitism with which you two operate in particular.
How?
It's a team game. Why doesn't everyone sit together?
No,
Well,
we've got no interest in
he
that.
did used to sit together
No.
up until last
And
week.
you know what? He's now supporting Snork and Warrior.
No, because
not everyone has the budget that you blokes
no,
have.
it's because
It's a
Anita-
team ethos. Exactly. This is the sort of elitism I'm talking
That was
about.
Jim, actually.
Spud is trying to engender
This
a
is
team
very-
ethos here at Triple M, and you blokes have just torched everyone.
This is very self-indulgent.
Every man for himself. So he said, if that's the scene that's being set,
No,
if that's the
not-
lesson that the leaders of the group are setting, well, then I shall indulge in it also.
Cop it, Spud.
And so he is getting a later flight, and he's getting out early, which means he'll be having to leave a little bit before you blokes get off air.
Well, good luck with that, because he'll be down the boundary doing a match report.
Don't think he will
just
be.
working out who's got tape
How
on
long
their
did it
shoulder.
take him to fly down with Colbert? That's not a jet. He flies down in a
little
de Havilland
twin
propeller
sister.
plane.
10-seater?
Well, it's got propellers,
Well,
Chief.
see-
The bit that might have
engine.
just trimmed our man up a touch. We got a bit of late news on this, Garry.
Oh, hello.
Is that he was alerted from the authorities at the station that an unable to be refunded flight had already been paid on his behalf, and therefore, if he chooses to fly on a private craft, he can.
He'll still be
but
billed.
the 485 will be coming off
I
his
love
match fee. Choice is yours, Spud.
The only thing we can hope for is that he's subjected to a cavity search at the end of the flight. Just customs have just swept in and cavity searched him.
I think you blokes will be lucky if he even talks. Even if he turns up tomorrow, you'll be lucky.
Well,
and I hope he gives you what for,
no,
because you
skid-
treat him poorly.
No, skid off ours.
It is.
Exactly.
It is a massive loss for our listeners, because
Warrior-
he is
Warrior-
a wonderful addition
Warrior
to the
will
team.
be there.
You get the treatment you deserve, Chief. Samuel, nice to see you. We'll see you
Now
again.
I'm going to the news.
Are you going to the news? No,
Okay.
you're heading off.
You've
But
had- yeah, I was
well,
heading off before
well, I
we
know,
started all
well,
that.
I like to see you, but it's time for you to go.
I think,
The Mikey and off you go. Get on the right one.
Jim, I think it's fair to say that everybody that's listening should tune in at 12 o'clock tomorrow.
They should be. They should
because
be
I
listening.
think there will be an opportunity of recourse for the great
no.
Spudley.
I don't think so.
No doubt about
Or he will come out with both guns blazing.
Don't bring a pop gun to a big shootout.
No,
it's
he'll
fun.
bring a cannon.
No, well, he hasn't really got one.
Now,
He'll try. He'll try. He might try. I doubt whether I think he'll wake up to himself. A lot of Twitter support coming through here for
Spud?
for outing Spud down to the boundary.
Oh, no.
Overwhelming.
Are you sure?
Why, you want me to read them
He's
out?
very selective on the
He
Twitter.
senses them something fierce.
I've got also Andrew Smith. He's a Geelong supporter sitting by himself on the very top level over there. This was a while ago. So, Smith, you hope you got a couple of people around you there now. Pouring down in Tassie. Can't wait till Spud gets on the boundary. So there you go. How can the Chief? This is from Randy Package. How can the Chief side with Spud after the years of shite he's thrown on him on Fox?
But for Spud and I, it's friendly banter, mate. You blokes, it's starting to get
That's not what he
personal,
tells
and I
us.
don't like it.
That's not what he tells us.
We're thick, Spud and I.
You know, one of you are.
well, I got a
Thick as thieves, mate.
text I received, Gary, that said, "Sack him. He's no good anyway." S. Low from Brighton.
Buckets.
So his real
He
mates
would not say that.
I got-
don't want a
Buckets would
piece
not.
of him.
I got one that said, just give me a bell, I'm ready to go. W. Carey.
Here we are, while the king in.
Oh, well,
Now,
Vivid imaginations, you blokes.
and it ain't the right time to be no good in Triple M because selection is an issue.
exactly right.